report. Well, Miss Pace, glad you could make it. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I'm gonna now do these videos to the community because it's making a whole lot more sense to bring to you the information that we are now able to debunk over comments made by this district. So we're gonna get into it. Mr. Bendelow and Ms. Kirkbride pay special attention to this because the Office of Attorney Regulation for the Supreme Court up in Denver takes complaints about attorneys. You know that, I know that, and I'm waiting for Mrs. Hernandez to call me back. I've made it clear that we're going to get a transparent district, and right now what you're seeing is the transparency of lead. And so for those folks who don't understand what's going on, the district is trying to conceal and hold back information from you to shed light on district operations. That's all there is to it. The information that they claim is on a website is not on a website. We're asking for detailed information that goes over and above what the reports have. And Mr. Bendelow, their lawyer, has threatened me, almost for the last time, because quite frankly, I've now filed complaints before they sent out this information. Those complaints are now registered with the state and state agencies that I'm legally allowed to file complaints with, including the Department of Regulatory Agencies over, well, now what I know to be false statements made by several people to the district, who then in turn told their lawyer that I did something I didn't do. It's called proof, Mr. Bendelow. You ought to try it sometime. Ms. Kirkbride and Mr. Bendelow, there's a term that was brought to my attention called ineffective counsel, all right? This district is now choosing to put out information in a smear fest on their website that you may or may not be aware of. What I was explained to, or was explained to me by an attorney, this is gold. The stuff they're putting on here that I can now back up as being false and characterizingly misleading, oh, it's gonna be fun. Don't worry about my vernacular today, it's just gonna be all kinds of fun. The fun part about this is, folks, when Whitman Hills does get sued for what they've done, they're going to blame me, although they were the ones who were posting all the wrong information. All of this, including stuff that hasn't been approved yet. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah, also to include information that wasn't even part of a board meeting. You'll understand later when you get that. So when you guys are wondering why Woodman Hills is under the gun again, it's only because I have to defend what they are doing. You understand that? All right. Want to make sure you understand the word defense. Okay? If they were to attack your husband and your wife and your kids, I would expect you to do nothing less. All right? So let's go to that. This is a copy of a August 24th comment or request for records I made. The comment is on my website. I apologize. I asked for the salaries for all positions. I screwed up in that, but we're going to get to that in a second. Job descriptions for all positions in Woodman Hills for 2016. Total outlay for salaries for each position, which would have actually covered the mistake on A. Okay, then we asked for an inclusion agreement for filing 11, calculations for the data used to derive the amount that they're charging. Then we asked for the allocated debt repayment amount of how much of that payment comes from the Park and Rec fee, how many homes Woodman Hills assesses the fee for Park and Rec, and then how many homes does Woodman Hills has service for. The response is here. The CORA department would like to would like to answer your above records request by directing you to the Woodman Hills Metro District website, where you can find the answers to your request by reviewing the 2016 audit, the 2017 budget, and the service plan, and then we'll say 2016 audit. Well, we went to the website, okay? For starters, there is no detailed accounting information in a service plan, okay? There isn't. It's a general overview of what they were going to provide. For the record, so we're all clear on this, this document was produced and made in 1995. Filing 11 wasn't on the map yet, so there would be no inclusion agreement in this service agreement. We then went to and checked all of the financials and audits here. The only audit that was on the website last night, and we took pictures of all of it as it's on our website, was the 2014-15 audit. Nowhere in this audit does it contain any detailed information about what we sought here. Nothing. Right here. So even if we were to use that one, that's not there. Then they said, go to the budget. Nothing here, folks. None of it. There's not a detailed accounting of anything we asked for. So when they said to go here and look for the documents, Mrs. Peterson intentionally tried to draw our goat. She tried to instigate a fight. That's what Mrs. Peterson does. Lisa Marie Peterson knows that she has the backing of this board and their lawyers to pick a fight. That's all. It's simple. She wants to punch me in the face and knock me out so I don't do any more requests. That's it. You don't have to take my word for it. Read this. It's real simple. Where she said we could find the documents not only wasn't posted, but then we're showing you exactly where she said to go look for it, and it doesn't exist. So now who do you believe? That's all she wants to do. You got to keep that six-figure job to keep that six-figure house and those really expensive fancy cars. And in the process, put on an Emmy Award-winning performance in a board meeting and drag your kid into it and claim that she's too afraid to go to work. So you're going to come and pick on me. Now I know this right here is now evidence because I did talk to a lawyer about it. So by all means, Mr. Bendelow, Ms. Kirkbride, staff, and the board, as the lawyer explained to me yesterday, liquid gold, baby, just liquid gold. The fact that I have the videos that contradict the comments on here, why don't you explain to them what that means, Mr. Bendelow, Ms. Kirkbride? I think you know. This was a document we sent to the district via their attorney, Mr. Bendelow. This was never responded to. Here's what we asked for, by the way. Copies of all the transmission responses sent by Woodman Hills about directly related to CORA in 2017, the legal reason why they denied us the compensation and agreements known to exist for directors, and the payables for the last 5 years. Mr. Bendelow, you owe us some information. And excuse me, when I say that, I mean your clients, because you represent Woodman Hills. When do you plan on sending that? You want to tell everybody? Because I think they'd like to know as well. And a lot of people are now starting to get the big picture of what's going on. Not from me, and not from anything I'm doing. We're just asking for the documents. Right? And Mr. Bendelow, that threat you made last week to sue me for fraud and misrepresentation of who I was, don't you think for a second that I made sure I could CYA on that one? Complaints were filed accordingly with the agencies applicable under state law that I'm allowed to file them. You had no right to go and do what you did and make the threats you've been making without getting my side of it. Your clients would do anything to make sure that they retain their six-figure jobs to pay for their six-figure houses in their six-figure communities. Okay? The poor voters here don't realize that those bills that are killing them now, or putting them down, or costing them whatever they're costing them, is a direct result of me trying to get them the information they want to know why. And you know what? I'm the one asking the questions. So, Mr. Bendelow, now I'd like to know why, I apologize, why I don't have that information. You want to explain that, Counselor? Ms. Kirkbride, would you like to explain that? Is everybody in your office laughing now? Because the people in this community certainly aren't laughing at me. I expect you to produce the documents, Mr. Bendelow, because you haven't done it yet. Oh, and just so you know, we did in fact do a print screen on the entire website last night of all the pages. It's on this website. So in case you try to claim we couldn't find it or I misplaced it. Folks, I asked for records, I expect to get them. Ms. Peterson, I'm going to make this clear. You, as an employee of this district, violated your agreement, and this board refuses to do anything about it in writing. And now the public knows. That's why I said it at the meeting and on this website. You would be allowed to take out a resident, okay, and do anything to them in a public smear fest to retain your job. No. If I was on the board as an elected official, if I knew that a resident was being subjected to this by an employee, they would be out the door. No questions asked. But your board doesn't believe that. Your board believes that whatever the employees are doing is A-okay with them, including making accusations of stalking, harassment, and just about every other vile comment known to man. So that's why the board needs to be held accountable. And if this is the kind of representation that these people are subject to, there are remedies for that, and you know what they are. And that's why a recall is in order, in the works. Thank you very much for stopping by, folks. I really appreciate it. Mr. Bendelo, you want to get those documents to me now? I'd appreciate it.